The Republican regime systematically is trying to dismantle the entire education system all over the country. This isn't just happening in Detroit. You're a global internet station. We want everybody to know this is happening near you. The governor has passed an unconstitutional bill, which seems like only the Republicans conjure this up, the emergency manager. The emergency managers here have been set up in every major predominantly black controlled city where the majority of population is African American.
This was the genius in Flint, too.
This is the genius and this is a genius in Flint. Now, they put emergency managers in the schools as well. And the school board has been rendered powerless. They've been told they can't even meet with all the issues going on between the emergency managers that are unfair. By the way, this school, all the windows were exposed for years until one of the neighbors over here decided to take part and board up half the school. And then this gentleman right here, single-handedly or with another man, came and boarded up half this school, and we really owe him a debt of thanks. The city is riddled with violence, obviously. We're riddled with all kinds of issues in the African American community. Drugs. So the people need to understand we can no longer sit back and wait for the government. John Wayne ain't coming for the wagon train anymore. The black community needs to start getting involved and uniting all across this country. Not to do anything violent, but to enact economic sanctions on some of these corporate structures that only understand money, baby. It's all about money, and until we impose and levy these sanctions on them, this is going to continue to happen until the end of time, and these poor black children in the city of Detroit, and most of these cities are predominantly black, are not getting an equitable education, the same fair education as children north about 10 miles from here are getting all the privileges. I'm white, so I'm considered privileged just because I'm white. The man don't come up and stop me all the time. The black community is faced with issues that we can't even fathom what it's like. Can you imagine teaching your black son, if you get pulled over by the police, be polite? Well, how many white parents are teaching their sons how to respond to the police?
And that doesn't even work all the time anymore.
It doesn't even work all the time. No matter what you do, you're not always right. But we want everybody to know that this is affecting black and brown children in this city, and no one seems to care about them except us and except many of the other activists that are getting involved. We need more support. We need people to show that they care. They've been desensitized so long between the violence and the takeover of these schools, which has been going on since 1999, and the school board has had no power since then. Is that true, Akila? Can you imagine? So these children, by the way, had been sharing books. And okay, so I'm a single parent, and I don't feed my child in the morning. Now he's got to walk past 20 or 30 abandoned houses to get to a school that no longer cares about educating you, and these kids are picking this up. You can tell when someone doesn't care about you. So this is what's going on in our country. This is not just in Detroit. This is every major black city across the board that Republicans are in power. This guy passed these bills in lame duck sessions, by the way. If you look up the emergency managership, it's illegal.
The people voted it down.
The people voted it down, and he passed it in sessions with no one hardly even there. Okay, what are we going to do about all this in this country? We're allowing these people to control us, and we're not taking control.
Your kids went here. It sounds to me bigger than education. You don't know if your kid's coming home at the end of the day. Can you talk to me as a parent in this neighborhood?
Everybody know everybody in this neighborhood. This is a good school. All the kids grew up together. Even to this day, the ones who went here in the past, they still collaborate with each other. That's just from the school being in this area. A kid now, and he's 28, 23, 22. They went here, got a good education. My mom's worked here. She worked here for some years. Right before they closed the school, a year before they closed the school, they had just got some money to fix the school up. They put in new windows, they put in new floors. They did a lot of work to the school.
And around when was this?
About 5 years ago or so. And within a year's time, when they spent all this money on the school, a year later it was closed. And the kids just, now they don't have no friends. Like, you know, everybody knew, we used to play football in this field. Good days, good friends. It's not here no more. So
And you tell me about what this school. You said the windows were exposed, and you came over here.
We moved here actually about 9 years ago, almost 9 years ago. The lights was on, and we said, okay, we got lights. Maybe they're gonna do something with the school. And then,
Hold on. Come in a little closer. I want to get light on you.
okay, and then there, all of a sudden, a couple of years, the lights went out. Okay, and people started coming around taking stuff, the steel off. They put steel up, and that's what draw the scrappers is the steel. So they took the bottom part off down to one side. So the next week they took the bottom part off the other side. So I went down the street and took up a collection from everybody in the block, and I tried to board most of the school up. I tried to call downtown to see if somebody else finished the other side, but we didn't. It was delayed. It took 2 years for them to come out and board the other side up.
It's a damn shame.
And me and another guy named John had to walk through the school. It's a wreck in there. We had to walk through the school and put nails on the door so they couldn't get in the room. So we didn't want the neighborhood to look, like it was an abandoned building, And it's ridiculous because, what is the lottery money for? For the schools, right? So my thing is don't
Cheat us on that.
the state get that, right? So why are they not putting the money into the schools from the lottery? What they get? Where's the money going? That's what I like to know. That's what everybody want to know.
When black children are uneducated and miseducated, then they cannot compete with other nationalities. So what it does is it knocks our children out of the ballpark for the future, for jobs, whatever, just basic living skills. But what it does is it eliminates a set of people, it eliminates a group of people from the competition in the global economy, in the global world. That's what it does.
Mo say something, and then can I close it out?
Say this. You know what today is, America? Today in Detroit is actually counting day.
What is it?
It's counting day
For the school.
for the school. So today what they did was they offered all the kids hot and ready pizza and party favorites and to get the kids to come into school this day. But you want to know why they gave them pizza for this day? Because this is the day that they do the national count to get the budget.
The money.
So for the money, I'll coach you and pizza you in the door, but tomorrow or day before, you may or may not make it. I don't have the same tenacity to get you into the school as I do because it's about to get my money. Let me go on this right here. That's about the emergency manager. There's a word I define. You might not know what the word pimp mean in the dictionary.
Yes.
The word pimp mean is defined as to manage one's money, right? So it's to manage her money. So when you a pimp, you must do something to pimp a whore. You have to establish credibility and strength with her and put fear in her. So a pimp got a thing called a 45-degree angle slap. They did it in the movies with James Cagney with the gloves, right? So the pimp had to smack his whore to put the fear of God in her and to get her to listen to what he say. So watch this. They came in. We are the only major market city in America going into a bankruptcy and a recession the way it did. They came in here and they slapped our mayor with 38 years. Watch this. Took the mayor, they pimp slapped the mayor with a RICO indictment, first ever for 38 years. Watch this. And then brought in the emergency manager, which means to what? To manage one's money. And then now they playing big bank and playing sell off the zoo, sell off the DIA Art Institute, and they playing sell off the Belle to State Park. Get the bears and the panda bears up. So because they slapped the whore, made Detroit a whore and a wholesale for those who overseas coming in buying properties at $5,000 a bundle, and took our mayor who fought and said you would not get our water, you would not take our kids' schools. He stood on these principles and they put him in jail 38 years. And now the emergency manager came in here and sold the glory of Detroit through Snyder, who was the sitting back pimp king. So now when you're talking about count day, it's count day on today when they get the budget. But last night, it was count day at the morgue. and I ain't see nobody.
My Lord.
Pimp the game.
And I also think, we'll close with you, but I also think this emergency manager is the one creating the emergencies.
Yes. They have kept us in a perpetual state of financial crisis, financial mismanagement, but they use the media, the right-wing media, the business-controlled media to blame us. You're blaming the victims for their condition. You're poor, it's your fault. You're on dope, it's your fault. Well, the only growth industry, and I'm not justifying it, we closed down the dope houses. But I'm saying the only growth industry available to us is the illegal pharmaceutical industry. Lean, ecstasy, Tylenol 4, heroin, crack. That's the only thing available.
Well, if you gotta eat,
You got to eat. And so they create these situations and they call you criminal. They create these situations, like Malcolm said, they put out your eyes and they call you blind. They give you a deck of cards and dice and then they arrest you for being a gambler. They give you a liquor bottle. Every time you crack a liquor seal, you're cracking a government seal. But when they catch you drunk, they lock you up. But like Reverend Mo said, the liquor stores ain't closing. They doing well because people start medicating, self-medicating when they're in pain, when they're in terror, when they don't have no hope, when they don't know how they're going to pay the bills. We got people whose water is off. We got people whose Mother Hubbard's cupboard is bare. I mean, it's like the wild, wild west. And we've been set up. The black, the Chicano, the poor white, we have been set up by the wicked wise who's controlling this thing. It's like Pavlov and the dogs and the cats and the rats and the mice. Not that we're that, but that's how we're being played.
that's how you're being treated.
We're being treated. We got to register to vote. We got to vote. We got to get rid of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a con. We need to overstand that. I'm not saying Hillary's the solution. I felt the burn. That's where I was. But I lost. So now I got to go with Hillary to stop him. It ain't so much for her, it's to stop him. Because he's a Nazi, man.
But I think what I'm seeing also, and I wonder if you guys agree, needs to be a lot more done when it's not an election.
Oh, no doubt. We got to get up. We got to stand up. We got to get involved. Every human being, every person in this country needs to get grouped up. Join a group, participate, spend some money in your community, work together, and let's set up some cooperatives. He may not have the money to do it by himself. I may not. But if we come together, we can do something and we can create jobs for our people.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
TYT for life.